I have no high hopes that this will actually be any good.
To a modern audience.
From 1991 to 1995, Marvel Comics published 5 parodies of Sports Illustrated swimsuit issues. The issues featured pinup-style drawings of both male and female characters, all clothed in skimpy beachwear.
Welcome back to my channel, ladies and gentlemen. Yours truly, who lives in the perpetuity of the 1980s and 1990s. And do you like my new headband? It's quite a departure from what I've had before, which for some reason never ever dared to come off my head. I had to surgically remove it last night. And as you can see, all pain-free, no red blood stains all over the place. Oh my gosh, I hope YouTube doesn't even censor me for that comment. But speaking of censoring, folks, Marvel swimsuit issues. Do you remember those? Because guess what? It's making a comeback. And I'm not looking forward to seeing what they have in store for us. I kid you not, it's not clickbait, but I'm glad you like my thumbnail because every ounce of my creative fiber went into making that for you lot today.
Yes, Emma.
Actually, it was the mid-90s and we weren't really into like equal opportunity exploiting of bodies, so it was only women.
What the hell are you talking about? Who are you talking to?
Yes, hallelujah, it's the video show. And now, the man the BBC calls...
Jason King on Kung Fu Hot Dog.
Now, oddly enough, ladies and gentlemen, Niche Gamer broke this article. Well, I went to visit their website very casually because I haven't spoken about game-related stuff in a while. But obviously, what I said in my intro is because of the phenomenally successful Marvel Rivals, headlined by NetEase Games from China, all of a sudden now we've got this fantastic variant wraparound cover by none other than Adam Hughes. If you know anything at all about comics, Mr. Hughes has a certain way of drawing the ladies to the point where even female fans of comics and women in general, even the feminists, like the way Mr. Hughes actually renders the women. But for those unaware, back in the 1990s, one of the best times ever, folks, Marvel published swimsuit specials which featured pin-up artwork of the franchise's most popular characters, which included, by the way, the men. So it wasn't like an outrightly sexist, let's focus on the females only, bring the X-Men in. Even Beast gets a bit of a mention and a bit of a nod as a pin-up, which I thought was pretty funny actually. And while the series ended in 1995, there were attempted revivals in the 2010s. However, both times Marvel rejected the plans without offering a reason. Oh, shock horror, what could that be, I wonder? However, fans could speculate that Marvel was rejecting the sexualization of its characters, which may have been seen as offensive by modern audiences. I wouldn't say the modern audience as we know it today existed back then. Maybe course correcting slightly by that phrase to the best of my knowledge, or in this case, breast of my knowledge, was ever used. However, fans could speculate that Marvel has rejected that notion for a while. The revival of the swimsuit specials comes on the 30th anniversary of its last issue. Wow, 1995, how true. As announced by Marvel, the new issue, Marvel Swimsuit Special, Friends, Foes, and Rivals. I was going to say something else that rhymed with foes. Issue number 1 will be released in July and will feature a look at upcoming costumes for Marvel Rivals. And again, you know, that's where I kind of paused the brakes right here. In fact, Bleeding Cool, they came out with a very long-winded, and I have to admit, quite a well-researched article. And enter wokeness with the return of the Marvel Swimsuit Special. Is this an end to the wokeness? I mean, again, guys, why are you just repeating what you wrote up there? These are such a bunch of nincompoops. So this was published yesterday, and they've got 4 bullet points. In my case, I would have had 2 bullet points, namely these 2. Renowned artists like Tim Seeley and Tony Fleeks helmed a new swimsuit special, bringing a fresh twist. Do you mean for the modern audiences? Yeah, and by modern twist, folks, they mean shit like this. So good luck if that's what you're hankering for. I tell you something, they are definitely going to cast the male gaze away from these renditions. You can guarantee that somebody like Sana Amanat will be looking over the designs.
No. It's now illegal. Approved.
But since its return now announced, is it indicating that a shift is changing? Are the stars aligning? I wouldn't think so, actually. Maybe, but the original was equal in its treatment of male and female characters. And as Warren Ellis said on the issue edited by Christian Cooper of Central Park fame, he did one of the funniest things I ever saw at my time at Marvel. Back then, Marvel would release a summer book called the Marvel Swimsuit issue, which is like Playboy's Girls of Summer, basically, which was exactly as awful as you think it is. Is this guy gay? What they used to call fan service and good girl art. Well, that part is actually true because, again, the reason why Marvel did all of this was probably around the same time or just a few years before when Marvel lost a lot of its great artists. People like Todd McFarlane, Eric Larson, Will Spatacchio, Jim Lee especially, Mark Silvestri, all defected because they were getting paid shit tons of money or cheated out of royalties by Marvel at the time, which is why they went into bankruptcy to set up Image Comics in California. And they would depict lots of what we would call overtly sexualized women in their comics, like Gen 13. But of course, we couldn't wait to get those issues with Caitlin Fairchild in her green leotard. Which reminds me, I have to buy her t-shirt very soon. Before Goonagate became a thing, it was already a thing in the 90s, especially in that decade. Anyone who beheld that book from a distance of 20 feet became, by genetic testing, 3% gayer. It was so effing funny. It was so not what Marvel did at the time, and it was so well played. And of course, this is what I'm talking about right here, folks, that Adam Hughes cover in all of its infinite glory. So you've got Scarlet Witch on Tony Stark's right, and he looks good, and She-Hulk with some bulging bosoms on his left. And I'm not quite sure who this character is, giving us a naughty smile, but I approve, of course. These dudes and dudettes in the swimming pool, I have no idea who they are as well. So that's one variant cover, and this is my favorite at the moment. On the left, you got Carol Danvers, a.k.a. Captain Marvel, and next to her is Rogue. In the center, of course, is She-Hulk, and these two characters, I feel they've been misplaced somewhat. So in front of the blue spider surfboard, it's none other than Mary Jane Watson, and next to her is Natasha Romanoff, aka the Black Widow. I would have had Mary Jane where Carol Danvers is standing and then placed the other two characters somewhere else. But She-Hulk in the middle, again, this is the She-Hulk that reminds me so much of John Byrne's run on that character back in the day. And she looks good. They're showing some titties, which is also very awesome. But again, folks, while Adam Hughes has penciled this cover and that one as well, or not this one specifically, more that one, remember, this is all clickbait because you'll be enticed by what the cover looks like. Then you'll go home, you'll turn the pages, and you'll be greeted with absolute slop. So why should you fall for this trick? Why would you do that, folks? You wouldn't, would you? Just wait for somebody to buy it, review it on YouTube or on a platform like IGN, who I guarantee will not touch this with a 10-foot barge pole, and then we'll see what happens. But if Marvel wants to win back old school fans, just do things the old school way, Marvel. Do you get that? Do you understand? If you're still not sure, give us a call and we can work something out, bro. Here we go, Rogue. Now, I can't remember who did this cover artwork right here. I'm sure one of you will know in the comment section below. But I remember that being an absolutely iconic issue of Marvel Swimsuit Specials. That might be 1992, 93. The issue. But again, all this talk about Is it ending wokeness? I wouldn't say that it actually is. It's more... Well, look, I mean, you saw my reaction to the Fantastic Four First Steps trailer yesterday, the brand new trailer, which gave us Lady Silver Surfer. And yes, I know what you're going to say, but Kung Fu, she was in the comic books. I know she was, but when you think of the Silver Surfer, you always think of the main dude, right? That's all that springs to mind, not this iteration. While I look at these lovely ladies right here, for your very beautiful viewing pleasure, folks, I have no high hopes that this will actually be any good, because again, Marvel feel they've been caught out by the very big success of NetEase's Marvel Rivals, the video game, and now they want to appease the fans. They want to remind them what they used to be like: edgy, cool, sexy, hip. And it's a bit too late in the day, folks. We've all moved on. The generation of men and women, and mainly men basically, who read your comics back in the day and salivated over the gorgeous pin-ups, where are they now? Well, I might go back and collect the old issues from 1991 to 95, but I wouldn't collect anything after. Anything after that's giving us a modern, fresh look at these Marvel characters that you find very attractive. It's going to be different, folks. It'll be heavily censored. And in fact, I did see an example somewhere. I'll see if I can find it quickly. I took a look and I thought, oh, here we are. Look, here we go. So these are variant covers, and that's obviously Scott Summers and Jean Grey. How is that meant to be sexy? This is not gooning material. This is like watershed material before the 9 p.m. curfew. That's what this is. Look at this. So sorry about that, folks. I didn't realize I was obstructing this design, but this particular variant cover, I don't even know who the dude with the tight swimming trunks is. Is that Peter Parker? I can see the Spider-Man emblem there. It could be a fan. Who's the Asian-looking chick? Yes, I'm being ignorant. She might be a white chick. She might be Hispanic. I don't know, do I? Zero appeal, folks. Has no appeal to me whatsoever. It'll be a Marvel Swimsuit special for the modern audience. Anyway, folks, I wanted to end this video on this moment right here because I do like looking at my girls in all their glory. And She-Hulk, I gotta say, this is when she wasn't a cringe character. John Byrne had a phenomenal run with his stories about Jen Walters. And if you ever get a chance, do read them. It's nothing, and I repeat, nothing like that god-awful TV show on Disney+. But what are your thoughts and feelings, folks? Are you like me? Are you very skeptical? Would you be looking at the issues to see if they meet your gooner satisfaction? I'm probably going to do that without paying for it because that's the best way forward. And if you find that you enjoyed this video today, folks, leave a like below, smash that subscribe button, and I will catch you catching me gooning at these lovely ladies for the return of my next video.